The allure and peril of the night shift. A world shrouded in darkness where shadows dance and secrets whisper. A graveyard for logic, where fear takes root and nightmares bloom. It promises solitude, a chance to escape the clamor of daylight. But beware, for the night is a fickle mistress and her embrace can be deadly.
A desperate gamble. John needed this job, desperately. Eviction notices littered his floor, each one a testament to his dwindling hope. The flickering neon sign of Ernie's Emporium offered a lifeline. A night janitor. Simple, isolated, a chance to rebuild. He pushed through the creaking door, the stench of stale air and bleach hitting him like a wall.
A shadow of unease. The air was thick with tension, and every corner seemed to hide a secret. Shadows danced on the walls, creating an atmosphere of dread. The manager, a gaunt man with eyes like cold embers, sat behind a mountain of dusty antiques. His presence was as unsettling as the items that surrounded him, each one telling a story of forgotten times. His smile never reached his eyes. It was a smile that promised nothing but trouble, a facade that barely hid the malice within. "You understand?" he rasped, his voice a dry whisper. "This place has rules. Rules that must be followed, or the consequences would be dire."
John, desperate, agreed to anything. His heart pounded in his chest, and his mind raced with fear and uncertainty. As the manager handed him a tarnished key, he felt a chill crawl down his spine. This place felt wrong. The key was cold and heavy in his hand, a symbol of the unknown horrors that awaited him. The first few nights were uneventful. The office was quiet, almost too quiet, with only the occasional creak of the building settling. I found solace in the stillness, a rare moment of peace in an otherwise chaotic world. The silence, broken only by the hum of fluorescent lights and the scuttling of unseen things, was unnerving, yet strangely comforting. Then the noises began. At first, they were faint, almost imperceptible, a soft rustling, a distant whisper. But as the nights wore on, they grew louder, more insistent, footsteps echoing in the empty aisles. They seemed to follow me, matching my pace, stopping when I stopped. It was as if someone or something was mirroring my every move, lurking just out of sight. Whispers brushing against my ear like cobwebs. They were unintelligible, a jumble of words and phrases that made no sense, yet sent shivers down my spine. It felt as though the darkness itself was speaking to me, trying to convey a message I couldn't understand. Objects moving on their own, books falling off shelves, chairs sliding across the floor. It was as if the very air was charged with a restless energy, a force that defied explanation. I dismissed it as my imagination playing tricks. After all, it was late, and fatigue can do strange things to the mind. But deep down, I knew there was something more, something I couldn't quite put my finger on. I couldn't afford to be scared. I had a job to do, and fear would only get in the way. So I steeled myself, determined to face whatever lay ahead, no matter how unsettling it might be.
The manager's plan was simple. Use Jason's desperation to contain the creature, to feed it. Jason had no idea what he was walking into. The manager had orchestrated everything meticulously, ensuring that Jason's every move would lead him deeper into the trap. The creature, a manifestation of pure terror, was hungry, and Jason was the perfect bait. He was never meant to survive. The manager knew this, and yet, he watched with a sinister satisfaction as Jason's hope dwindled. Every step Jason took was a step closer to his doom, a step closer to feeding the insatiable hunger of the creature.
I stumbled back in horror as the creature lunged against the bars, its grotesque form pressing against the metal, trying to break free. My heart pounded in my chest and I could feel the cold sweat trickling down my spine. The air was thick with fear, and the creature's eyes bore into my soul, its eyes never leaving me. They glowed with an eerie light, a promise of the horrors that awaited. I knew there was no escape, no way out of this nightmare. The creature's gaze was a constant reminder of my impending doom.
"Enjoy your shift, Jason. It's going to be a long one." The manager's voice dripped with malice, each word a dagger to my already fragile psyche. His sinister smile was the last thing I saw before the darkness consumed me.
The last thing Jason saw before the door slammed shut, trapping him in the darkness with the monster, was the manager's grin. It was a grin that promised pain, suffering, and an eternity of torment. Jason's heart sank as the reality of his situation set in, transformed into something monstrous, something inhuman. He was not alone in this nightmare. The creature was a part of him now, a dark shadow that would haunt him forever. The transformation was slow, agonizing, and Jason could feel his humanity slipping away. He was trapped with it. The darkness was suffocating, and the creature's presence was overwhelming. Jason knew that he would never escape this nightmare, that he was doomed to live in fear and despair for the rest of his days.